There's a moment in Manchester City's match against Napoli that tells you everything about modern football partnerships. Jeremy Doku gets the ball on the left wing. He does what he always does, drops his shoulder, changes direction 3 times in 2 seconds, leaves his defender stumbling backward. Pure chaos.
If you look at his style of play, he's one of the hardest players for defenders to go up against for me.
The kind of dribbling that makes crowds gasp and defenders question their career choices. But here's what makes it special. While Doku's creating that chaos, Erling Haaland is doing the exact opposite. He makes one simple run, perfectly timed, between 2 defenders who are too focused on Doku to notice. No wasted movement, no unnecessary steps. Doku finds him with a pass, 1 touch, goal. Chaos plus control equals unstoppable. This is the story of how 2 players who are nothing alike became exactly what each other needed. Let's start with what makes this partnership so unusual. In football, we're taught that great partnerships work because players are similar. They understand each other because they think the same way, move the same way, see the game the same way. Think about famous partnerships. Xavi and Iniesta at Barcelona were both technical midfielders who loved possession and played with the same rhythm. Ronaldo and Benzema at Real Madrid were both intelligent forwards who read each other's movements perfectly. The pattern is usually this. Find someone like you and you'll connect naturally. But Doku and Haaland, they're opposites in almost every way. Doku's game is built on unpredictability. He'll try 10 different moves just to beat one defender. He improvises constantly, makes decisions in the moment, takes risks that sometimes work brilliantly and sometimes fail spectacularly. He plays on instinct and emotion. Watch him play and you never know what's coming next. Even Doku probably doesn't know what's coming next. He just reacts to what he feels in that moment. Haaland is the opposite. His game is built on efficiency. Every movement has a purpose. Every run is calculated. He doesn't waste energy on unnecessary actions. He plays with cold precision. Watch Haaland and you can predict exactly what he'll do. Make a run to the near post, position himself between defenders, finish with 1 touch. It's ruthlessly efficient. One player thrives on chaos, the other on control. On paper, they shouldn't work together at all. So why do they? The answer reveals something fascinating about how modern football actually works. Here's what happens when Doku gets the ball. Defenders panic. They have to make a choice. Do we double team him to stop the dribbling? Or do we hold our positions and hope one defender can handle him alone? If they double team Doku, they leave gaps. And Haaland is a master at finding gaps. He sees them before they open, positions himself perfectly. 1 pass, 1 touch, goal. If they don't double team Doku, he beats his man and creates danger himself. Either a shot, a cross, or a pass that breaks the defense open. It's an impossible choice for defenders. Stop the chaos or stop the control. You can't do both. That's the genius of this partnership. It's not about being similar. It's about creating problems that can't be solved. But here's what makes it even more interesting. Both players needed to change to make this work. When Haaland first joined City in 2022, people said he didn't fit Pep Guardiola's system. City loved possession, patient build-up, midfielders controlling everything. Haaland was just a finisher. He needed service. There's a famous clip of Jamie Carragher saying Haaland might have picked the wrong team. That City's style wouldn't get the best out of him.
He may have actually picked the wrong club to actually get the best out of him. You're laughing, but what I'm saying is...
Then Haaland proceeded to score 36 goals in his debut season, breaking the Premier League record. Won the treble in his first year. So much for wrong team, but the criticism had a point. Early on, Haaland would go long stretches without touching the ball. He wasn't involved in build-up. He just waited for chances. Over time, he adapted. Not by becoming a different type of player. He's still a pure finisher, but by understanding how to create space for others, even when he's not scoring. His runs drag defenders away. His positioning forces opponents to mark him with 2 players. That opens space for midfielders and wingers. He learned that even without the ball, he affects the game. That presence alone changes how defenses organize themselves. Doku had to change too. When he first joined from Rennes in 2023, he was all energy and flair. He'd beat 3 defenders and then completely mess up the final pass, or shoot when a teammate was wide open. Pep challenged him to slow down mentally without losing his physical explosiveness. to make better decisions while keeping that chaos that makes him special. And it's working. Doku's still unpredictable, still takes risks, still tries impossible dribbles, but now he's combining it with actual end product. More goals, more assists, more moments where the chaos leads to something concrete.
We talked about the wingers being a bit more inside, and that's what he can bring to you. And now he only needs to work on his finishing, and it seems like that looks like it's on point at the moment.
In one Champions League match, Doku touched the ball 26 times inside the opposition's box, the most ever recorded since data collection began. That's not just chaos anymore.
Jeremy is like, he's so fearful every time you have the ball that if it turns over, this kid, he's just that. I've experienced it, like I've said before. I had him on my team and I knew how dangerous he was, but going against him, it's and then you add one or two profiles into that they have in abundance. We knew there was going to be difficult moments in that.
He learned that chaos without purpose is just wasted energy. So both players evolved, not to become more similar, but to better use their differences. And their partnership keeps getting better because they're still learning from each other. There's a great example from the Manchester derby. United tried to crowd the middle, deny Haaland's service, keep things tight. It worked for the first half. Then Doku started attacking Luke Shaw over and over. Every single time Doku got the ball, he went straight at Shaw, dribbling, changing pace, creating chaos on that side. Eventually, the defense collapsed toward Doku to help Shaw, and suddenly Haaland had space in the middle. Doku found him with a cross, goal. Later in the match, Doku got another assist for Haaland. Then he set up Phil Foden for the opener. He completely dismantled United's defensive structure through sheer relentlessness. It's the partnership working perfectly, chaos creating space for control to exploit. But here's what's really fascinating. They still don't have perfect chemistry. And maybe they never will, maybe they don't need to. Sometimes Doku beats his man, but the pass comes too late for Haaland's run. Sometimes Haaland times his movement perfectly, but Doku takes one extra touch. Sometimes they're just not quite in sync. And you know what? That might actually be okay. Because when you think about it, if they had perfect chemistry, if they always knew exactly what the other would do, would they still create the same problems for defenders? Part of what makes them dangerous is the unpredictability. Defenders can't predict their combination because sometimes even they can't predict it. The chaos isn't just Doku's dribbling, it's the partnership itself, the uncertainty of how they'll connect on any given play. There's something here about modern football that's worth thinking about. We're obsessed with systems, with patterns, with players fitting into specific roles and doing specific things. Everything organized, everything predictable, everything controlled. Pep Guardiola himself built his reputation on control, on possession, on every player knowing exactly where to be at exactly the right time. But maybe the most dangerous partnerships aren't the organized ones. Maybe they're the chaotic ones, the ones where opposites collide and create something neither could achieve alone. Doku without Haaland is exciting but sometimes ineffective. All that dribbling needs someone to finish the chances it creates. Haaland without Doku is clinical but sometimes isolated. All that finishing ability needs someone to create chaos that opens up space. Together, there's something neither could be separately. And isn't that what great partnerships are actually about? Not finding someone like you, but finding someone who has what you lack. Someone whose weaknesses are your strengths and whose strengths cover your weaknesses. How much chemistry do they actually need? Can you overthink a partnership? Can too much organization actually kill what makes a duo special? Because right now, with their imperfect timing and their still developing connection, Doku and Haaland are already devastating. They're already one of the most dangerous attacking partnerships in world football. What happens when they figure each other out completely? When the chaos and control synchronize perfectly? Do they become unstoppable? Or do they lose the unpredictability that makes them so hard to defend against? Maybe the answer is they should never fully figure each other out. Maybe staying a little bit unpredictable, even to each other, is exactly what keeps them dangerous. Because sometimes the most beautiful thing in football isn't perfect harmony. Sometimes it's controlled chaos. Two different forces pulling in opposite directions, but somehow moving forward together. And maybe that's exactly what Doku and Haaland have discovered. Not a partnership built on similarity, but one built on difference. Not perfect understanding, but perfect complementarity.